Good afternoon. Welcome back to Curiosity Forge. Today I'm going to pick back up on the both the hammer I punched that I made. Let me go get that. Well, bummer. I threw it somewhere. I'm going to have to dig it up and find it. But I am going to take this and I'm going to do some more forge work on it. And after some thought, I think I'm going to try welding a handle to this first and see if that treats me okay. If that doesn't, then I'm going to take these old hoof nippers and get them hot and just smash them to shape around the end of this so I can keep it locked down and under control. Because yesterday kind of sucked. I already didn't feel good, my arm wasn't feeling it, and having that thing drop out of my hand over and over again around my tongs, I can't do that again. I almost settled for grinding that to shape, but I realized I can keep much more material, a lot more material, and I can get a much better shape for a punch out of that, or drift, sorry. Brain's not here right now. I get more of a proper drift shape out of what I have here if I just take the time to re-squish it and flatten everything out, go to round, or go octagonal, and then go round and work it down that way. And after some discussion, I have made the executive decision to not heat treat this thing because reasons that should have been obvious, although I was ignorant going into it. Do your research first if you can. And yeah, that's where we are. And thankfully, reheating the punch and stretching that out further and making a narrower taper is, number one, going to make it easier to punch my hole out. And two, yeah, we'll undo the heat treat on that so I don't have to worry about like a weird fracture or something like that because I got a harder spot than I thought on the side. So, that's what we got going on today. Enjoy the ride. And I'm going to spare you having to watch every second of work being done. We'll just focus on some highlights. Be right back. And I am definitely going with the handle first. Hopefully it holds up and stays put. I'm not going to be heating up the handle area weld itself the way I would when I'm making Damascus. I haven't done any projects besides Damascus with one of these handles, so I don't know what to expect. I'm sure somebody watching this knows exactly what to expect, but it'll be a learning experience for me. And yesterday, while I was dropping it so many times, I was on the fence about either welding a stick on or going with the mutilated tongs to get the job done. And after talking to Tucker over at S&S Smithing this morning, his decision to go with a stick based on what he saw me go through kind of cemented my decision to at least give it a fair shot. The worst thing to lose is like a 1/4 inch of stick from breaking the weld loose. Oh no. So here we go. We're gonna weld this thing up. And if you're getting a welder and you haven't considered it, get some of these sleeves from Harb and or Freight. They do great at stopping your arm from getting sunblocked and, you know, not burning slag holes through your shirt, and they don't make it overheat like a cotton jacket does when it's like 700 degrees out here and the sun's actively trying to murder people because we're in Georgia. Pro tip from an amateur. and there she blows. I never considered myself to be a professional grade welder. I'm just an amateur who may or may not have done some light reading on the subject in the classroom many moons ago and didn't even finish that experience off, so don't use this as the golden example. All I need is some ugly beads that'll stick long enough for me to finish this project. I ain't doing nothing structural with it. Nope. So let me get to... Oh, by the way, I found the hammer eye punch that I made, and that's where I'm at with it so far. It's pretty well centered. What I want to do is draw this taper down a little bit more and bring it out further so that it pushes deeper into the hammer from both directions. And also it's a little bit sharper at the tip. When I make my hammers, what I'm going to do is go to the drill press and get whatever bit will bite into the steel, drill into it a little bit, maybe a ½ inch to an inch, just to start this off and make sure I'm centered and it lines itself up right going in. And then after that, it's going to be a lot of elbow grease. I am going to put a handle on this thing, and I'm on the fence about whether or not to just make my own from scratch or use the pre-made one that I have in the drawer that I was going to use for a template. We'll see. I got time to decide on that. And Tucker, I got your bar sitting right over here. It's going in an envelope, and a padded envelope, and padded and protected and everything else as well as it can possibly be, because the USPS hates blacksmiths sending each other presents. Be back in a minute with the forge lit and this thing getting hot. Alrighty, she is in the forge getting all hot and bothered, and something I felt like I should point out, the coffee can on top of the forge right there, that's full of a couple of melted down scented candles that happen to have a particularly strong scent and are quite pleasant. And what happens is when that stuff gets good and hot, it melts to a liquid and releases a lot of its scent at once. And it should last a while because it's not actually burning the wax, it's just melting it. And that's simply because I'm a weird bastard. Sometimes I'm the worst straight guy ever, and I love scented candles. So I'm experimenting to see if that doesn't make the forge smell nice, just because. Just now getting a dull cherry red glow, so I will be back with you as soon as it's ready to start swinging the hammer. I'm going to start with the 4-pounder and wear my arm out, and then start moving down the weights. And maybe with some more control of this piece, my arm won't wear out nearly as fast. Let's hope. Okay, now that the funky butt-loving handle broke off instantly, like I was afraid it would, I'm going to mash the tongs around this thing and try to see if that'll help me keep it under control. I've already messed with it for a while and hurt myself once, maybe twice, so hopefully the rest of this goes smoothly. Okay, that's cooling off. We'll try this again in a minute. this thing within grinder range now. Let me grab the tongs. Because red ain't the only color hot in the shop. And I think if I run the drift down to right about here and stop right here around the top, I'll get a nice oval hole in there that will be the right shape. And it's sized to hold a solid hammer handle. So I'm going to set this in the driveway and let it cool off. And I'm going to go ahead and get to work on the hammer eye punch and finish that bad boy off. And then I should have a functional punch and drift set. It may not be the best in the world, but it'll do until I can get some help reshaping this thing. Thank God there are some tongs that'll hold this and keep it under control. Thank God for small things. So all I'm going to do with that is draw the taper down thinner and further and be good to go. And she's all hot and bothered now, so we're going to pull it out and smack it around for a while. Just made it weird, you perv. So as not to bore you with the finer details of what's fixing to happen, because we already know, I'm going to stop it right here. I'm going to come back when it's all done, and it's cooled down enough to show you what it looks like once finished. I'm also going to catch my breath a little bit. Okay, so before I forget, there are two things that I need to mention. Number one, we have Alan Schoenert to thank, and I'm pretty sure I mangled that name because I've never heard it spoken aloud. But we have him to thank for the tongs that I reshaped to hold that large billet so that it quit bouncing onto the floor. And that let me finish up what I needed to a lot faster. It still needs some TLC on the grinder, but not today, honey. I have a headache. And this ball peen hammerhead that I converted to a hammer eye punch is courtesy of James Duncan over at the Sprinkled Donut Forge. If any of y'all are just arriving or have been here a while and haven't checked him out yet, go check out Sprinkled Donut Forge. He has got some really interesting projects going on. They are worth watching. Do yourself a favor, go ahead and add him to your sub channel or add him to your subs, because he is going to be doing far more ridiculous, weird stuff than I could possibly imagine right now. The one thing he's working on right now is turning a CV axle housing into a sword, and it's going swimmingly well, but that is the last thing I would have thought of there. You got to see the videos on it. But with that, I'm going to wrap this up here. This ain't perfect, but I'm pretty sure it'll get me where I want to go, or close enough. Once I do the grinding work on the hammer eye punch, or the drift, I keep getting those two mixed up because I'm very tired. Once the drift is ground out and ready to rock and or roll, either I'm going to try a hammer out here at the house, or more realistically I'll go to Quad State and get some pointers on cleaning these things up more, getting them more functional, and getting them right so that I know I'm not going to waste a billet and a bunch of time and a lot of cutoff wheels on the grinder cutting the billet off. So that's all I've got for today. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for making it all the way through the video. And if y'all haven't checked out S&S Smithing yet, go check him out. Seems like a very nice fellow. He's been very, very pleasant to have exchanges with so far, and I'm pretty sure he'd appreciate some extra attention too. And from what I gather, he's got a lot of interesting projects lined up too, so it should be worth a watch. Either way, that's all I got for today. Thank you very much. Praise the forge, pass the borax, and stay safe in your shops. Don't let me see a bunch of nasty ass injury pictures showing up online. I'll be furious. Alright, see y'all later.